Da, 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 da. We're live, na 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 in the Garden of Eden, honey. Don't you know that I love you? In the Garden of Eden, baby. Don't you know that I'll always be true? Okay, let's start this podcast. All right, we're officially rolling.
We're loose. We're goose.
You know what I forgot to grab?
What did you?
The dad ring,
motherfucker! God damn it!
I'm gonna go grab that real quick, but I'm gonna set you up for an introduction.
Oh, okay.
So, Kristen.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome, seriously, dude. I love you, man. You've been my brother for 3 years now, and so yeah.
It's been a pretty interesting ride. To give it context, Kristen and I met in the cannabis community.
Yes.
And we've got
the wild west of the cannabis community. It was.
You know, that couldn't be a truer statement. There's a few frontiers in this world, and we're definitely on one of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab that rig real quick.
Grab the dab.
So, Kristen, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Greetings, beautiful savages. I'm Ranger One, otherwise known as my birth name, Kristen. I run Reefer Rangers, which is a free and safe access program for veterans. It's also an independent production media company, all branched off of a gray market cannabis business. So there's a lot more there, but that's the quick of it.
I think Kristen's being modest because he does a lot. He really does a lot for the community. There's there's people that are out there who are hustlers, and there's people who are out there who provide medicine for patients, and both of us.
The difference between dealers and healers. I'm definitely in the healer category. I agree with that.
A keen distinction.
Yes.
I think that might be our Northern California.
There's room for both, though. There's room for both. Let's just say that. Honestly, there's room for both. But if you're dealing with medical cannabis and you're dealing with high-end medical patient problems, and you have the whereabouts and know-how, you need to be making their lives easier. And for me, you can only choose one. And I always say this: the veterans fought for our rights to be assholes, and we owe them everything. They took on horrible jobs. I don't believe in war. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I really don't. I'm highly against it, actually. That being said, they took jobs for whatever reason. They needed money. They wanted school. People do different things for different reasons. But when they came out, they were different people, and they would never be the same again. And so without droning on, that's they deserve everything we can give them. And if it just means me finding free cannabis from farmer to farmer to get it to them, I'm going to continue to do it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for being there for our vets. So I'm curious. You said earlier that Weed for Warriors was kind of tied in. They're the only other veteran program that I'm aware of. Actually,
there's Operation Evac. There's Weed for Warriors. There's Veterans Walk and Talk. There's multiples on Veterans Walk and Talk. Actually, multiple chapters of just about every single one. But they're branching out. It's a kind of thing where it starts off as just one, and then there's a need here, there's a need there, and this traveling from one location to the other, like, people in San Francisco having to come to Sacramento to do Sacramento things. People from Sacramento having to go all the way to San Jose to do a walk at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, obviously, tendrils begin to happen, and you have...
You know what that kind of reminds me is, like, the Dennis Perone era of, like, care and activism.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Straight out to the people. You get it, you branch it out as far as it needs to go. I mean, if all of a sudden you've got, people in Hawaii saying, hey, we've got a large veteran populace here, then I think it would be important that you do the hard work and find somebody that's willing to start that program up and, have it be cannabis-based veterans medical help.
I got to admit, I haven't been involved in too many veteran programs. My brother was in the Navy. My step-grandfather was in the Marines. But military culture wasn't very prevalent in my life,
yeah,
so...
Me neither, so, yeah.
I was always interested in checking out the Weed for Warriors project, but there's always...
They're good peeps.
There was always this lingering feeling, like, maybe it's just my own anxiety, but You know, it's like, it's for veterans. I'll leave it for veterans. They don't need me. You know,
Weed for
I don't feel like there's much I could contribute except for just being there and being a.
And now you know
person.
different though, huh? Now you know different, huh? I mean, when you actually get out there and talk to a few, I'm going to get you out to a walk and talk one of these days too. And the thing is you don't need to know about military, the way the military works. You know, I mean, we see the horrible stuff on the news and stuff like that, but all you need to do is sit down with one or two or three veterans in an evening and hear the traumas of being frontline, basically a mercenary. You know,
that's the one thing I do understand about
combat vets.
Combat vets.
Yeah, they've got stories to tell, man.
You have shared trauma that's difficult to relate to with when you reintegrate back into civilian lifestyle. You know, that those types of shared traumas are hard to find except for the people that you share those experiences with in your platoon.
Oh yeah, that's why their trust levels are so low. It took me forever to actually give free cannabis. I'm talking free weed. Most people anywhere would be all like, free? You're going to give it to me? Oh my God. And they'd be so excited. It took forever to break these people down and say, this is what my program's become, excuse me. Come get it. Here, I'm going to be out on the River Walk in West Sacramento. Oh, nobody showed up for that. I sat there for 5 hours in my car.
Fuck. See, those are
my
wife days.
brought me dinner and sat and we smoked one last joint and then drove home. It was sad. And then I got in touch with veterans Walk and Talk and said, "What's up? Well, they have trust issues. Come out to our thing. Come out where they're comfortable. Come out to where their home is and do that, and it'll work fine." And you know what? I never went back. Never went back. And now we've got it to where we can show up in public somewhere and say, "Hey, vets, we're doing this." Boom, you know, and they'll come for it. You know, now they know. They know that I'm in their best interest.
Excuse me. I'm gonna prep another dab. Hope you're okay with that.
Sure. Yeah. Dab.
You wanna go first?
Prep and dab. I will. Yeah. Prep it. Boy, that thing is sputtering. I don't know if you can catch that on the audio there, people, but it's almost as if it's going to explode at some time and point. So I'm kind of waiting for that. Oh, there
it's on low too. That's what happens when you don't sell
that's almost Taco Bell fart gas. It's like it's that rattly. Yeah.
Taco Bell fart.
I don't know. I just went. Yeah, that was my go-to. Straight. Yeah, it is. Yeah, sputtery. Yeah. Sputtery, like there's segments in it. It's partitioned itself off. But I got to tell you, the other side of the Reefer Rangers, working with live bands, has been just such a fucking ridiculous blessing. It's amazing. I grew up with music. My dad was in a band, and I never lost that true love of the actual construct of a song. You know, how it's put together, the different pieces, parts, how each one could play the song by themselves. Like the drummer could sit there and drum the song out with no guitar, no bass. And now being an adult and working with bands that are actually really, really doing things, and unfortunately our little stop down with COVID slowed that down. But these bands, Sacramento's got some local entertainment, and I'm just so glad that I'm able to.
Who's your favorite band in local Sacramento entertainment?
Hey, I'm going to do this dab and think about it.
I can name a few. There's a big one, mutual friend of ours. Dirty Reggae Punks, who's now kind of local.
DRP is amazing because there's a huge story behind that band. I mean, aside from just being friends in school and starting a garage band and blah, 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 which is a great story. DRP, Dirty Reggae Punks, which is, Kelly, Amanda, and Jake currently, they all started on the road with Green Jello. You know, little pig, let me in, not by the hair of my Johnny. It was a great song, man.
You know, it's
such video and radio play back in the day, and so it was part of that band, and just at the end of a tour, happened to break down in this area, Placerville.
You know what I love about that song is it gave me like a really Nightmare Before Christmas vibe. So it's kind of haunting in a way.
Well, yeah, not to mention it's claymation video. It's
I haven't seen the video.
The video is amazing.
I really suck. Like I suck at just gathering media.
Stuff. Yeah.
If I hear a song, I'll have no idea there's a video to it.
Honestly, though, my favorite DRP, well, not DRP. Well, DRP does it, but my favorite Green Jello song back then was actually Serial Killers. I love Serial Killers. It's a great song.
You know, to be honest, I didn't know that you did that sock puppet video. I had no idea. I didn't process it
I made
at all.
that fucking
it was
thing
your
myself.
voice and everything.
Yeah. No. That was
Kelly's voice.
Kelly's voice, the song, and they did that a long time ago and canned it, you know, and it was just this great fuck you anthem. That's what it's called, is fuck you. And it's a song about talking trash behind people's backs. And I think...
Do you think Kelly would let us play it on here?
Oh, absolutely. I've got, well, see, because
I
when
feel
we
confident
made it,
about that one.
he was like, push it in any media that you can. So I would definitely pull that up because we should run it. At least should be heard, if not seen.
Where can I find it? I'm looking for it.
Oh, on my YouTube. You can go straight to my YouTube.
You have a YouTube?
Yeah.
I had no idea. See, this is how out of touch
Didn't
I
know.
am. I'm out of touch, man. I haven't done a podcast in months, and I've been listening to a lot of like just famous people podcasts.
Sure.
But I've been trying to prep myself for like the structure and the discipline. And all that
I found watching, and I did that myself. I watched like a lot of Justin Scard, and I like Adam the Woo and Carpetbagger, and all these guys are just bounce around. Sock Puppet Theater.
I'm not subscribed as Freeform Media.
Shame on you.
I'm now officially subscribed.
Shame on you. Oh,
I am subscribing on SAC 420, boss.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And probably my...
I've subscribed to you. I've definitely subscribed to your YouTube channel.
Hey, it's in Gaia.
Yeah, that was a great day, man. Spent a nice day in the West Sacramento Riverwalk with Ngaio, talking about how he was roommate. That's that tent shop. That's that place.
All right, the audio's probably going to be a little weird because we're picking it up off of the television.
Sure.
That's in the room. I'm going to throw it up on the main
screen. And as I said, you won't be able to see that it's an actual sock puppet that looks just like Kelly from DRP singing the song with a beautiful Hawaiian tropical background.
By the way, we're on the Reefer Rangers YouTube. Fucking don't pull our show because we're showing this shit. I have the guy sitting
right here. Ranger One says, I'm giving...
He made this sock puppet thing.
I'm giving permission here on the radio.
All right.
Yeah.
Now's a good time to dab. Uh-oh.
No! What did you do?
No!
Oh, there it is.
It's Kelly.
I love how you can see Cheech, my Cheech action figure there in the corner. Yeah, that puppet took like maybe 12 hours straight work. I just got into it. I'm like, I got to make it look Muppet-like, but I got to make it look like Kelly. I think the nose ring was, probably the hardest part because I actually had to construct it from pieces parts.
Did you just do a dab?
Yeah, I did. Thank you. This is a great song to like ship off to people that obviously have done you wrong and you just want the right way to tell them what kind of person they are and what they should do.
So if you could just kindly step right over there. Yep, right there. Maybe a little to the left. Fuck off! It just goes to show that you suck. And I really don't give a fuck anymore. If the door fucking hits you, what do you think you're gonna learn? Switch a fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
We did this in 2 takes up. Which is, saying something with a sock puppet and a 60-inch television as your...
There's more?
No, it's just my intro, my outro, my bumpers. Gotta have bumpers.
Oops. Don't want to be showing that.
Yeah.
That's not ours.
Yeah, we'd get busted for that. They would be on our
No.
ass. No!
Well, you
That
call it
was
a free
close.
promotion for someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was though.
Well, all we got was like two, you know, you can't tell what
Get
song
plugs
that
back
was.
on here. Wham!
Name that
Wham!
tune. Oh, look, logos back in place.
Man, I just did a pretty humongous dab. Do you want to try one of those?
Yeah, I'll try a humongous dab.
I did
going
it right out of this.
It's gonna
thing.
get interesting, folks, because now we're just talking about humongous dabs. But we're gonna do one.
Whose dab do you think is more humongous? Or
What's that?
whose dab?
Who's dab?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best dab?
No, like whose dab is humongouser?
I don't know that I understand the question.
Whose dab?
So who do I have to choose from? Is it between you and I?
In general.
I'm absolutely lost.
This is a total.
I've hit the back of the tunnel and I can't find my way out.
This was a total like question that I asked after I just did a huge dab, and now I'm just like, what
Whose dab
kind of
was
question
bigger?
was that?
I see how that could be used, out and about whose dab was bigger.
So are you into crypto at all?
No, I don't believe in it. I think that I don't know. I haven't done a lot of research, but shit like that just kind of creeps me out. It's just the kind of thing that you could really invest yourself in, and then all of a sudden have absolutely nothing. And anything that's like that is just in this day and age not worth a chance.
What about stocks?
I see. I steer clear of that shit too. I really do. I don't like people playing with my fucking money because they have big grand ideas. If I'm down with something and I happen to have a pocket full of change that I can throw at it because I want to see it grow, that's a different story. And, usually from that, you get a similar outcome as you become part of what's going on with it. But that was straight out of the bowl. Oh my God. There we go. That's why it's a huge dab.
It's like, as much as you'd like to take. Jesus Christ. He said yes, my son. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that happened. Christ, what is that? That's so good.
I forgot.
Man, smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision.
I'll tell you who I got it from.
Oh, okay. Well,
Maybe.
yeah, I don't know. Steer clear of that. I don't know. See, I'm questioning that whole thought. We're very protective of these people in the cannabis community, but I'm finding that I'm doing videos that that music videos that showcase these people out in the scene. So I'm showing the sesh itself. I'm showing the vendors at their tables. I'm showing their product, their label, their Instagram handle. So that to me says very little fear. And all I'm getting is good response. That was so fucking cool. I can't believe I was in the blah, 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 and yada, yada.
So I think it's fair to say that you adhere by the rules of Instagram and Facebook, and that's why you're allowed to publish your content on there.
I've never had a problem. I've never had anything except for one thing it was a Bruno Mars song that a DJ was playing in the background at a car show that I was at. And and I'm like, I was at a car show shooting footage of cars. Now I don't have an interest in cars at all. There was a music thing that I was doing there as well. But the whole video was, oh, look at these cool cars that we have out here, and there's music on the stage, yada yada. And at the time the DJ was playing, and it was a Bruno Mars whatever, Uptown Fuck You Up or whatever. So yeah, I got popped for that one, and it was like, no. I had to type back. I'm like, hey, listen, man, there was a DJ in the background. If you're going to take down everybody's footage of a party where there was a DJ in the background, then there's a lot of people losing their awesome memories. And they put it back up.
That's cool. Well, yeah. they actually put it back up.
But my main thing is I've put so much weed use and fucking cannabis and just images upon images and never had anything taken down. Knock on wood. I'm not saying that
I can't post anything at all.
I think it's the way you do it. I think it's the way you do it and the way you present it. I really do.
If I post a picture of a nug, no context whatsoever, even if I say, this is what I smoked today, it's delicious. I'm really not even trying to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still get it flagged as if it's an illegal substance and it's against, community guidelines. Mm-hmm. Now Facebook owns Instagram, so their community guidelines have now bled over to Instagram.
Sure.
And it's just, Instagram's gotten, I think, more shitty. But I'm kind of waiting for a new social media platform to come out that centers itself around more like privacy when it comes to like advertising issues. You know, Facebook will definitely everything you opt into on Facebook, almost everything you opt into on Facebook is going to use your information and share it with 1,000 fucking companies just for the sole purpose that they can advertise to you whatever they picked up in your audio on your phone the previous day in a conversation with your fucking dead great grand aunt.
That's exactly one of the reasons that I don't use Facebook. I mean, there is a Reefer Rangers Facebook. We started with only a Facebook until we realized, oh shit, we need this Instagram so we can do these things, these shows and stuff, because that's how they communicate. But it was just Facebook, and it was just pictures and niftiness and goofiness and music and whatever. And now that's a place where I get dinged. You know, a lot of stuff that I post right away, Facebook, and I don't get it because they're owned by the same fucking company. So there's a laxness, there's more lax behavior with Instagram, I believe, than there is with Facebook. I think Facebook is considered more family, you know, where Instagram is a little bit more dirty, a little bit more gritty, a little bit more Wild West.
What's Snapchat in comparison?
I have no idea. I've never even Twittered or Snapchatted or any of that shit. TikTok.
Definitely feel like Snapchat.
53 years old, man. Fucking Instagram is hard enough, dude. I'll tell you that. And now running a YouTube channel on top of it, it's fucking crazy. But it's really cool because, I mean, I've always been artistic and I've always had a creative streak. And this does, you know, now we have this shit on our phone. Literally everything I do, graphic design wise and video wise and audio wise, I do with this phone, man.
I like your. I'm loving your videos.
The videos, you know,
You're
they're
good
fun.
at tying it up with the bow, man. That shit looks well produced.
They're fun. Nah, see, well, that's the whole thing. Is it's really not supposed to. It's supposed to look kind of janky, you know. But I think what it is with tight edits and tight cuts and the shots timed and lined up, you get that feeling of, wow, this seems high production, but it's real janky footage, and I think that makes it fun. I think there's an interesting juxtaposition there with it, and you know, not to mention it's just, you know, I don't want to look all professional. I don't want to look polished and shiny. That's not what our scene is about even to begin with, you know. So yeah, keep it simple, keep it fun, keep it jumping. I mean, like you, look at your logo. It's very fun and very with our scene.
Self-made.
Yeah.
Did that shit on Photoshop.
That's what I'm saying. That's what we did. Exactly. Threw it together.
2 of those logos on there. All 3 of those logos were created by everybody in this room.
Mm-hmm. Independently done. With love, you know. I mean, oh yeah, once we nailed that cowboy down, you know, and it was like, okay, that's what he should look like. Because in reality, 90%, I'll say 90% of him is Andy Devine. So you can look that up and see for yourself. But he's a classic Western star. I love Westerns. There it is floating around very ghost-like. Gotta love a good P&G because it's just the image and whatever your background is separate. It's great. It's fun. But yeah, you know, lock that in and the simple Western lettering, yeah. So simple. I always said if it's good enough for Mama C's of C's Candy, it's good enough for me. She never switched from her little black and white logo of her granny photo. It always had. It said C's underneath.
Want to see the backyard real quick?
Are we going to do that to these people? Just leave them hanging as we walk off to your backyard?
I mean, it's right there.
I mean, how do you guys feel about that? I wish you guys could talk back to me. You can't because you're not. You know, this is you're in the future. You're in the future. We're in the past.
We're only going from one corner of the room to the other. We have to leave the room.
Oh, we might be actually. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I want to show you.
Here we go.
A friend of ours.
Well, I'm gonna hit my vape then. That's for sure. I mean, I'm gonna make that a vape excursion as well.
Look how ripe and ready this backyard is.
I hope you're trying to see. Look at this backyard.
Yes. No, I'm serious.
I love this.
That was the previous guy.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's just cool. Somebody stops you.
Anywho, Alan came by. You know Alan, Shatterdad?
Yeah.
I
just saw him the other night.
He came by. I saw his post on Facebook. He was doing like lawn maintenance and landscaping and tree cutting and shit.
Yeah.
I think it was just tree cutting. I think I'm throwing a bunch of extra shit in there. But He came over, brought some tools. I had an overgrown backyard. He unclogged my lawnmower. I got fed up with it, so I just called him instead, you know.
He came over, took care of it.
He came over, took care of it, and did a great job, dude. Like, he really, like, I'm not even just trying to plug him. I'm just trying to tell you, like, man.
But I think
he cleaned up.
He
He
said
cleaned up
that
and everything.
for all of your landscaping needs and even perhaps lawnmower maintenance, Shatterdab. Shatterdab's the one to go to if you know. If you don't,
most everyone that listens to this podcast is probably local.
For sure, absolutely.
There's probably maybe a dozen people that I'll send a direct message to who are out of state.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they know who they are because, like, we talk regularly. Y'all better like and subscribe, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
Ring that bell. Ring that fucking bell.
Ding,
It's
ding.
such an easy thing. You know, that's my thing. It's like you don't have to pay for it. You know, we work really hard on these shows. I'm gonna throw this in. I've been meaning I got to do it on my own channel too, but we work really hard on these shows. We make no fucking money doing them. You know, we gain a lot spiritually for sure doing it. But that being said, we're providing entertainment directly to whoever wants to pick it up. So if you know us. And you love us or like us or dig us a little bit, do all the stuff. Do the subscribing and the ringing the bell and liking the videos and even disliking the videos because that lets us know that we did something wrong or might need to change something up or, you know, might need to delete you. I don't
Fuck
know.
it. Go troll in the comments. Just go troll in the comments. We need attention. I'm kidding.
Yeah, just troll. We don't
Honestly,
care.
the
We'll take
attention
it
wouldn't
all, man. We'll take it all.
The reactions wouldn't hurt. You know, I'm just being straightforward. I want to make this.
Sure.
I want to blow this fucking podcast up.
But yeah, but I'm just saying it's a simple thing for people to do, and I don't understand. It's like, you know, I've put the word out to, and I'm not whining, bitching, or complaining at all in the least. That being said, I've put the word out to a lot of people about, now I have, 9 shows, each one of them nearing pretty much an hour. 45 minutes to an hour, and said simply, hey, just even if you don't watch the videos right away, just go there, do the subscription thing, hit the bell for notifications. You know, exactly. Thank you for this. That was a beautiful ding. That was a well done ding. But you know, and then also, you know.
That's one of those little bits I want to cut out later.
Oh, just keep it for another
I want
time.
I want that to be your text tone when you call. It's you saying that. I need to say this out loud so I remember.
That was a beautiful ding. My goodness.
Every time you text me, I'm going to hear that. That was a beautiful ding.
Thank you. Thank you. It just makes you feel so much better, you know, when you're listening to your message.
If I do things like that, by the way, this is just to affirm something out loud for both of us being media people. Whenever I do things like that, the little thing, like I want to make what you said in the podcast the text tone for when you text me. That's the sound that plays.
Can you do these things?
I can.
Wow, I need to learn this magic.
You can do it from your phone. You just got to record it.
Okay.
And you have to move your audio file.
Yeah.
And you just set that as your text tone. I'll show you how to do it. It depends on your phone.
Oh, I never even thought about that, dude.
When you do little things like that, you are practicing the discipline of media.
Sure.
Think about it.
Sure.
It's really for shits and giggles. What's it really for?
I understand what you're saying because you're forcing yourself into thinking, okay, well, I need to specialize my ringtones and my answering things, and everything is kind of a process of editing together. We're editing together ourselves. You know, we're editing together shows, but we're editing together ourselves. Each show, each episode that we do, produce, finish, move on from, it's all these building blocks that are creating this. You know, creating Ranger One of the Reefer Rangers, creating SAC 420 Boss. You know, these are now entities that are known. I mean, you can be out somewhere and somebody you don't know.
Sorry.
I'm sure you've had that. Have you had that?
No.
Somebody you really don't know from a sesh has seen you in a
for sure.
supermarket and said, you're SAC 420 Boss, right?
Creeps me out sometimes.
It's a local, exactly, but it's a local thing. It's a nice creepy, though. You got
It is a nice
It's a nice creepy. But it's a local thing, so you do get that because it's a small place. You're gonna run into. I mean, there's this oh god, I can't remember It's like a grocery outlet type store, but food source over by us. And there's this kid that works there that goes to the sessions. And I went in there, and he yelled, Ranger One, Reefer Rangers are in the house. And I'm like, oh, shit,
Wait, he was working there?
Yeah, he's just working there. Yeah, he's just stalking.
That's what
He's
happens.
stalking. I thought it was great. I went
There's a
hugging.
mode. There's a mode that our community gets in when we see each other.
Yeah,
You know, like
it's a happy community.
there's a whole there's like two ways to do it though. Like traditionally, you have two stoners.
Yeah.
You know each other are stoners.
The knowing nod.
It's the knowing nod and the squinty eyes.
Sure, yeah, sure.
But
You even make them squintier than you really have them.
With,
you know,
with,
just to,
with,
oh yeah,
with
really
our
high.
community, we go way past the squinty eyes and straight into the. It's you.
Oh fuck! And the family shopping next, she's going, next aisle, quick, let's go, let's get out of here. It's these weed people again. Set them loose in the store.
Man, you know, the further
Too
away,
high for the supermarket, dude.
the further away I get from California, the more people don't like weed. It's very sad.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's thought processes, and always know in these places. Like we were in Austin, Texas, when we did that fucking long haul across, and in Austin, Texas, all the other places, I was terrified. I felt so comfortable in Austin, Texas. It was weird.
I want to go to Austin very badly.
Very
actually.
artsy, and they really want it. They want that. You can see it in their like. They have head shops. They don't have weed there right now, but they have head shops. You can buy CBD, and they're very much face forward with that because it's the best they can do. And you know that that's a cannabis community that really wants to bloom, and they're being held back. And it's sad. And that's. We bitch and complain about what's going on in California, but we've got it made, man. I've taught. My brother lives a grand distance from here. I'm trying to remember. Illinois.
You know what I think about Texas? I think Texas is probably really cool to go to, and if you can get into the culture of Texas, you probably have a great fucking time. What I think sucks about Texas is I think Texas is afraid of legalizing cannabis because, I don't know, fear of the unknown or some bullshit. I don't think there's a whole lot of people that smoke there, but for the people that are out there that smoke, I think there's a lot of wholesome people that are doing just as what we do here. You know what I mean? But
Honestly,
but
it's
people
come
out
down
there,
to the holding down of the hip community and not letting that grow.
people out
That's
there
the
take a
true
much
fear now
higher
of the
risk.
Straits in this world is the abilities and the gusto of the tribes that we're creating scares the vanilla white mortals. It really does. It scares them. And
white mortals.
I know it scares the shit out of them. It changes their norm. That we're
It'll make a white woman look at a
being
black
so
man twice.
brazen as to do a cannabis show in a lot that's 2 blocks from our house, and so all of a sudden there's a lot of cars parked in the general vicinity. And so they're afraid of the openness. They're afraid of the freedom. They're afraid of that free thought process. And I think that's honestly, aside from liquor companies and tobacco companies and other things like that not being happy about cannabis being legal, I think that's become a minimal thing now.
I think cannabis, if anything, cannabis has.
It's just the fear of the free thinking.
Probably due to manipulation, I think cannabis has helped the tobacco industry. But I think that's because the tobacco industry has their fingers in there somehow.
You know that they've had, the tobacco industry has had a cannabis
Patent.
regulation stamp for packaging ready for print since 60. So I can't remember the exact date. You can look it up out there somewhere sometime. But 60-something, I believe. My mom had a copy of it, and that was in the 70s when I was a kid. And that was one of her prized possessions because she swore up and down it was going to happen in her lifetime. And it did. She doesn't smoke anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, they were waiting, but then it happened, and I don't think that anybody was ready for it.
And I feel bad for.
I don't know. I steer clear of that
years
fucking
ago.
politics thing. I do what I do. What I do is kind of pirate. And so I really just don't even give a shit about that stuff anyway, I'm not a big grower. I'm not a,
Not yet.
Don't plan on it.
I just want to grow.
Farming's not my thing.
I just want to grow like a few plants. I don't want to have. If I had property, I would do what I was legally allowed to do at a maximum level without it being cultivation or
Sure.
industrial grow.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to have a greenhouse, at most a dozen plants that are like, you know,
With the
20
space that
20
you
gallon?
have here, with the space you have here, you should, do what like
6 tops.
well, what yeah, exactly, like Susie. Susie, a friend of ours,
Mm-hmm.
has that little tiny tent. It's not it's not tiny, but it's not huge, and it's just that's what it's meant for.
Do you have the salty toast tattoo?
Yes, I do.
I missed that day and I feel bad.
Yes, I do. You know that guy will still do it, right?
Will he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'll go get it.
Yeah, just
I didn't know. I felt like I
that
missed
guy
it,
is
so
such
it's
an
like too
amazing
late.
dude. He literally had that party in his studio. We'll keep his studio private, but in his studio, and he was like, tattoos are free. I've created 4 different designs. You can mix and match. We all got fucking nice and toasty there and had food, and it was beautiful. It really was. For such a sad fucking thought process, our buddy Kevin was gone. He passed away, man, and it's still to this day. I'll never ever get over that. I will never ever 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 be able to be clear of that thought process.
I ran into Wolf last week and he had it. I was thinking about Kevin.
Yeah. But yeah, when we went in there, and got our salty toast tattoo, man, it just made it feel a little bit better. Made it feel a little bit more okay that we had a connector there, universal connector. Aside from what we had in our hearts already, in our minds and our spirits. But yeah, having that name on me.
Sometimes I'm really weary about when I
Skin.
dab, but since we're talking about a friend that's passed away, I'm like, fuck, I have to dab right now. This one's for that person.
Okay, we're
I don't mean to be
dabbing.
rude.
We're dabbing for salty toast.
I'm dabbing. You're dabbing.
Yeah,
We're all dabbing.
we're dabbing for salty toast here.
And that smoke in the air right now that we're not smoking is for Salty's. Oh my god, can't talk. Salty toast.
Yeah, that's the pouring it on the ground equivalent.
I guess. I never understood that. Like,
Pouring one out.
honestly, if I was dead, just
One for the
if
homies.
I died, just drink the fucking drink, smoke the fucking
Yeah, I don't
smoke.
need it. Yeah,
Don't waste it. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
Yeah, I don't need my soil saturated. It's all good. And if you're doing it like think about it, those people that are like in a back alley somewhere,
Come bring
and-
some chicken
and they're
shit,
like,
some coffee grinds. in my
Here's
grave.
for the homie, and it's like I'm not even anywhere near there, man. I'm buried in some cemetery plot, or no, I wouldn't. I would be ashes in some urn on somebody's, So yeah, it's not even. I guess spiritually, it's the deliverance of the booze to the dead. Pouring one out for the homies. But we blow clouds to the sky though for our dead.
Yeah, but we do that. For
And
any
that's
other
what I
reason,
love,
too.
dude. And I get a little quiver chin. I got a little quiver chin there. I did. I'm not going to let myself get misty. But that shows what a tribe we are. We have created a thought process. When our friends die, we gather and we blow smoke to the clouds. We blow clouds. We blow smoke to the sky. There's that thought process. And that's a beautiful thing. That's very early human. Not that I knew any early humans, but
I bet you did.
you bet
I think you're a vampire secretly.
You-
Not like an energy vampire or anything like that, but like you're so healthy looking. I don't know how old you are.
53.
Well, that's cool, but you still don't look 53. You still look like you're like I don't know in your 40s.
Cannabis, man, I'm telling you, and that's after
don't you do
17 years of an opiate addiction.
Aren't you plant based too?
Huh?
Do you do plant based diet?
Oh no.
I thought you were vegan.
No, I am fucking such a caveman, dude.
Yes,
oh, my
meat.
God, dude. I am such a caveman.
I like
I
that.
am the horrible caveman that will like, oh, what? You're gonna put pastrami, hamburger, roast beef, and chicken on that sandwich? Fuck yeah, do that.
See, I have those moments. I really like healthy food though.
Meat sweats, here I come.
I don't like being the type of plant-based eater that just eats like potatoes. I don't want to do that.
That threw my dad into petit mal seizures. I don't know. You don't know. You've never met my dad, actually. My father, who lives in Florida, back when we were roommates, and he met a gal and wanted to lose weight, and he went on a potato diet and literally threw himself into petit mal seizures that he came out of, thankfully. But, you definitely don't want to do that diet. It was one potato a day any way you wanted it, with the exception of like, you couldn't go crazy on like chili and shit like that. But Yeah. No, just that basic, too much starch or something. I don't know. That was nuts.
Potatoes are good, but I can't. I feel like I'll get sick if I eat too much potato.
I don't like, I think that it could very well in the long term, maybe even very long term, but still nonetheless long term, might be harmful to strictly be plant-based. I mean, there's a reason that we eat meat. There's a reason we eat vegetables.
I think it could depend on your genealogical history.
Yeah.
If you're from a place where
to what extent?
If you're from a place where there's not much plant food you can eat, you're probably only eating meat and fish, a lot of protein. But if you're from somewhere with an abundance of natural resources that are not, meat based, I feel like there's people that maybe a plant-based diet would work more for just based off of their genetics.
Sure.
I like both,
Excuse me.
but I can't do plant-based forever. I'm going to have problems if I do.
Most of those cultures sent out hunting parties, even long-range hunting parties, to bring back some form of fucking nice, chewy, meaty product, to add to whatever they were eating.
I can't really talk about health because I'm still a fat ass. Let's check back in a year.
Since I want to say 16 years old, I went to eating one time a day. And that's all I've ever done. And I've stayed the same weight for the most part. By give or take 3 or 4 pounds here and there. Not everybody can do that. I get that. But, man, if you can, because, I don't know, food during the day slows my ass down. Makes me sleepy, tired, lethargic. Get up, coffee, hit the vape, do your shit.
You know what always
Feed at night, like a vampire. See, I must be a vampire. Feed at night. I only feed at night.
I've been a creature of the night lately. Honestly, I'm not even.
It's an easy thing for a creator to be, man. It really is.
I've been in full creative mode, so I think it's been a good opportunity for me to just decompress and.
Well, I just want to say, I really like how you just latched in. You were talking about, I got this ideas and this, but you finally latched in, and now you're just, it's a good thing, man. That's cool.
I just want to keep it chill. I don't want to put much effort in anything.
Well,
or I want everything to be fun, so it seems effortless.
Let me tell you, do not let yourself burn yourself out, and that's what I've realized. I came jumping out just previous to January saying, Ranger One's Rock Sesh, your ticket to fuck yeah in 2021, and 1 episode a week, and that's when I had been talking to bands, and then they were, oh, that sounds cool, and you always find that, things sound cool when you're talking about them, but then when you try to really set it up, we're still dealing with the COVID thing, so there were only certain bands that were willing to, get together. Oh, yeah, we're going to be in a studio, so yeah, if we can do it, we're here and you're there, that's cool, we'll do it, And so I locked it up, but I realized, locking in a show and getting one out once a week.
There is a way to make it happen.
I know, but it's painful, and you got to I think as things lighten up, and I think, now that we're getting into spring, it's going to be a lot easier to do that. But, having started in January, where it was still cold, rainy, people are still in a weird mindset. Yeah, it was really, I popped off a couple of really great shows, but, I got, Rebel Holocrons, I got Ungayo, Bilam, I got,
is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
Bilam?
Yeah.
I always said Balaam. I feel bad.
It might be, I don't know. I would, he's so classy. I think that's why I just go to the classier pronunciation. He's such a cool guy, man. I think he does not like. He does not. I'll tell you this though. I don't think he likes fanboys. I don't think he likes the fan thing. Because I admittedly, I'm interviewing him, and I was a little gushy about the cool things and stuff like that. But then, got to say in my defense, and to the defense of the regular person, It is a cool thing. It is, I like my story before. The kid that works at the grocery store they went to, and he's like, "Oh, Reefer Ranger, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
I mean, that was a thing for him.
It's a little creepy, but
he
it's
had
good
seen
creepy.
me at a big something that was a big deal to him. He saw me at, and so now he's seeing me at his work. Shopping in his grocery store, and it's not a big thing at all, but to him it is, or it was, and so just I think all you bigger cats out there, just realize that we just love you so much because you came before us and did really great shit, and we were able to get into, like there's a guy out there, Jolioli. I'll probably never meet him. He's in Seattle, Washington. I guess I could probably try, but when I was coming off of opiates, I was, fucking stuck to my couch and watching a lot of YouTubes and stuff like that, and I found in the interim, Cody was talking about these things that were happening in these cannabis shows that we should, try to get involved in and stuff once I felt better. And that's when I met gummy bears for the first time because I couldn't smoke cannabis. It would make me gag and sick. So Cody brought these cherry gummy bears that were THC laced, and I would gulp them down, and for some reason
Those are dangerous.
gelatin would stay in me, and I would get fucking sleepy and pass out and feel fucking grateful. But no, I started watching this YouTuber, Jolioli. You can look that up. He's out there, and he's very prominent. Shit ton of viewers. And he's in Seattle, and he does, I guess what do you call it? When you rate a product. He just does, dab videos and joint rolling videos and blunt videos. It's cannabis entertainment. It's silliness. But I was like, holy shit! Some of the weird shit that I had never dabbed before. I was seeing that. Oh, are you deucing out? Was it too heavy of a hit?
Yep.
He's going down. He's going down, and he is down. Yes. So just so you guys know out there, I may be alone for a second. The producer and host of the show has dabbed out, I think is in green zone. Yeah.
I went to Cloud9 there for a second.
Did you?
I did.
That's my vape.
That's why I had to lay down.
Cloud9.
I had to move the chair and just collapse to the floor for a moment. That was not a bad thing though.
Jeremy did that to me. See, there, well, so it's just first names. It doesn't matter.
I haven't had to use my inhaler. Weirdest thing. I don't know why. I have not had to use my inhaler. Maybe it's the quality of the dabs that I'm doing lately.
That makes a difference, man. I'm telling you. People out there, watch out for them solvents. Try to get solventless product if you can.
The same wax I was smoking like a month ago, and I had to use my inhaler, and I was like, now I don't have to, and it's like, what the fuck? I don't understand.
Look at our buddy Joey out there, man, who had all sorts of lung problems when he was just taking sick, because everybody's giving him samples. He's a vet, they're like, here. And so he had shit from everywhere, and he was having some hard lung issues, man. And I said, dude, taper it back and use one company that you trust, out there, and stop fucking. And he did, and look, he's back out rolling.
You know who Joey reminds me of is you remember those homies? They're like little figurines that you get at those vending machines that.
Oh shit! I remember those.
They're like little.
Yeah.
They're toys for kids.
I had like
but they're
10
homies.
Of those things. 10 different.
They're all these. I honestly don't know if Joey's like Mexican or not. I think he is. Not 100%.
Actually, decently painted rubber figurines that would come in a.
They were cool.
Coin op machine. Yeah, they were very cool.
This was like.
They had the punk version too. They did come out with a punk version.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dude, those are things that I would, if I saw them at like a flea market, I'd probably be like,
just buy
I want them all.
Somebody had like 5,000 of them, just like leftovers, so I want them all.
I'll take them all, dude.
Yeah.
I really
Multiple
would.
sets of how I think there were like 30
homies,
of them.
There's homies that look like Wiso.
Yeah.
And they were made.
Oh, they were really
like
well made
10,
too.
15 years ago.
Yeah, well, it was
than that.
definitely the 80s version of what the homie.
Wait.
From the
Do those date back further than I realize?
Yeah, it was late 80s. I want to say they came out late 80s. Yeah.
My mind's blown right now.
Well, because you got to think, in the late 80s, the coin-op nifties were becoming a big thing. You were starting to see the 50-cent and even dollar machines with stickers and larger ticket items in there, you know?
That's not, I don't think when I was a kid, I feel like I saw that a lot more. Maybe because I was interested, but even as an adult, when I see something like that, I still get excited. Like, what?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Because, I don't see it anymore.
I will reach for the pocket of quarters to delve into that fun, because, you know, there's just... I would rather do that than a slot machine in Las Vegas, because you're going to get something each time. It might not be the exact thing you want, because you're never sure, but...
Dude, I have an idea.
What?
For a vendor thing.
What? Oh, we're going to come up with our
Can you
own
imagine?
coin up.
Can you imagine coming up?
It's not a hard business to get into.
All you need is a designer, a 3D printer, one of those vending machines that you pop a quarter into.
Little figure.
Designed.
Is that where you're going? Yeah.
I know an artist. Dude, I know he would be
in
willing.
This day and age,
oh my God.
with technology,
I need Matt.
even
Matt,
in-home technology we have.
I'm calling the bat signal.
Put up the bat signal.
Matt Roper, I need you.
Matt
Matt and Felix are two of the best artists that I could think of, and I'm really trying to not be a fanboy. I don't just know these guys. I'm like, seriously, like, I love their art. They're very, extremely talented. I wish I had some social media. I'm going to pull up Matt's Instagram at the very least for him. But
I was going to say you should get them in touch with Kelly, who is looking for an artist for his fucking graphic novel.
Already did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
I did.
Because, that poor guy, he's really going through it there for a second.
Who?
Kelly, trying to find somebody to lock him in. They were like, look at the project. Oh, a little too large in scope for me. You know, it is a big story.
I think that's... I really want my buddy Matt to work on that project because I know he has the talent and he has the potential where he can go long term with that. But he's not going to commit to something unless he's 100% sure. And so I would highly encourage him to get on board.
Honestly, go in.
Both of these guys are like
go in low end
wise,
with a 10.
Could not be a bad thing.
A 10-figure run where there's all he's got to come up with is 10 characters. Because you can always branch off from there. But, start low, 10 characters, come up with the concept designs.
There we go. It's on that screen. Here,
3D print those.
Let me borrow this for a moment on this other screen.
Sidebar. Freeform Media.
And that's our Instagram, if you guys want to check out on the top left there.
It's at freeform.media.
Log in here. Hold on. Anywho, I do want to call out Matt Roper right now because this 3D printing idea, I gotta take a little mental note on that.
You call them Stodies?
Sure.
Stodies.
That's a great name. Fuck, man. Stodies. Dude, that's perfect.
Stodies coin-out machines, man, with like 10 different figure character profiles. 5 boy, 5 girl.
Every 3 months, 5 boys and 5 girls.
Sure. That's a great way to do it. That's a great way to do it.
Dude.
But just starting with 10, 5 and 5, is not too high end. It's not too much to create.
Instagram. Whoops.
I love how the podcast has gone from podcast to like we're literally trying to figure out how to make action figures.
See, that's the best thing about conversation, and that's the best part about the freeform.
Absolutely.
I remember you telling me that you
bounce around.
That you appreciate like a set schedule. Honest to God, I just suck at that.
Okay. I got to clarify that because before this goes too much farther out there and people think that I'm some stick up the ass guy. When that only comes into play with mostly live music. So when you're wrangling live bands like Reefer Palooza, 12 fucking bands, 2 comedians, 3 comedians, and all this space and time that's filled by sets, but you've got to have prep and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really, really uppity about having a set schedule and a set thought process with doing a live show, which we haven't been able to do in a while. It's been a year now. But yeah, putting bands on stage, yeah. But you know, doing podcasts like this, you kind of got to just go with the flow, you know. And I'm definitely more in that thought process now with that. But it seems, yeah. I think a lot of people look at me like I'm very it's got to be very structured with this video. And I actually shot with a gal named Brooke, who she's on Instagram, but we won't go into details. But she's a very sick young girl. She's about my daughter's age, and she came out of her illness and fought really hard, and funded her own. It's basically like a little mini head shop table at the sesh, you know. So she does dab rigs and bongs and vaporizers and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, I went over to shoot at her booth, and she's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "No, hoity, just no hoity-toity about it. You know, just relax, and I'm gonna fucking get the camera on you. You do your introduction, then I'm gonna do the sweep of your table." And once she mellowed out and relaxed, and it was just, yeah. It's things happen so much better if you're not like, okay, this is your, what do they call it, motivation in acting. Here's your motivation. Your mom just dropped a pot of spaghetti on your head. Go.
Fuck!
Brilliant! Thank you, Mr. Scorsese.
Can you imagine when you say that, it reminds me of like working with actors like Jim Carrey, someone who's like really intense. Can you imagine being on set with someone like that? It's trying to set the mood for a scene.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, there have been interviews with
Excuse me.
old Ron Howard, a.k.a. Richie Cunningham, on how amazing and awesome it was, but then also very daunting, because you've got this larger than fucking life human being that is now in costume and projecting even further.
I'm stealing Kristen's spot.
Yeah, just for a second. It's comfy.
You know what's
comfy
great about
couch.
this podcast room is it's home.
Well, you can literally just like lounge around and still be doing the podcast. It doesn't matter where you are. And that's kind of the cool thing of not doing video, although I highly suggest it because it is entertaining. I think people like to see what people are doing while they're listening to it, you know, see the actual actions, even if it's minimal as like just doing dabs or grabbing a bottle of water or whatever.
That's like another $500 of equipment I got to get to make that happen. It'll happen.
Just use a camera on your fucking oh well, you would have to tighten it up. You just set up your phone camera and that camera and then edit it together, dude.
I'm going long term, so I'll just collect equipment that I'll use for a while. Like that blue snowball I've had forever. This computer I built 8 years ago, probably longer.
That's this big cube.
Yep.
And it's called the Blue Snowball?
No, the blue snowball is the microphone that we're talking into right now.
Oh, that thing's fucking cool. I gotta say, it looks like, it reminds me of Hal from 2001.
Yes.
It's just like Hal, man.
It reminds me of how, and when the red light's on, it makes me really uncomfortable. When I'm like watching videos or like playing a video game, I'm like, somebody's listening right now.
I can't do that for you.
And I've had the thought, it's Hal. Been like, God damn it, Hal. Gotta unplug you for a second. You know, I remember seeing 2001: A Space Odyssey as a kid, and it was amazing.
That movie.
It had me on edge the whole time.
One of the most beautiful. And I don't get people that, oh, it just makes me fall asleep. I don't get. It's not fucking Star Wars, man. It's a fucking space movie. For fuck's sake.
Here's your spot back. I had to lounge on this couch here.
No, it really is though, man. It's Do you want me to scoot over? We both sit here, man.
No, it's good. I like to.
There's plenty of room on this here couch. I'm only using the corner.
I'm getting all sleepy from these dabs.
Yeah. Well, let's hold off on dabbing for a second. Slap some CBD, or we can just keep it going and.
Usually, I like to dab. I like to dab till I get all bug-eyed, and then
I can hear us snoring on the microphone.
Start mowing the lawn and making a milkshake at the same time. You know.
Start the blender up and run up. Get the lawnmower going. Yeah, there you go. Just multitasking.
That's swear to God, that is my energy. Whenever I'm trying to get shit done and I get into hustler mode, it's like weird. I have to do 50 things at the same time, and I get it done.
Yeah.
But it's like I have to juggle. I have to really just take the time out, fucking shut everyone out, just get it done.
Yeah, you're just doing those things because any more would make you self-destruct. I think.
I don't know. It's weird.
Sparks come out your ears.
My eyes, they're not heavy. They just feel really dry. My eyes red?
No.
I think I'm high, man.
I'm sure we're both. You know, I mean, if there was a test for it, I'm sure we were in the upper echelon currently with the amount of dabs we've done.
I'm sure if you took a chunk of the fat off of our bodies, there would be like a certain
there
fucking
would be like
THC content per cubic inch.
A ribbon of THC.
Yeah. Ribbon or a whole fucking vein.
Look at the marbling in there. It's all the marbling is the THC there.
His the Rick Simpson oil accumulated into his kidneys and attached to the stones, and now the stones are dabbable.
That's disgusting.
That's pretty gross.
That's very bad. Rick Simpson oil's not though. That's good stuff.
Man,
aren't we? You know, just fucking awesomely blessed humans that have that in our lives now. That they figured that out. And it's so readily available now. You can take that good kind medicine all the time.
I think I got a chip on my shoulder with weed sometimes.
Why?
Because it's not... When you start getting into the money-making aspect of it, and you start... Here's one thing I really want to talk... I'm probably going to advocate for this for a lot on the podcast in every episode.
Sure.
Fuck CRC. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan at all. Every hustler that I know that fucks with CRC, they're like, oh yeah, it's great for their profit margins. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. If people want to buy it and they like it and they're happy customers, cool. That's their decision. I'll be libertarian on that. Like, you do what you want to do. If it doesn't harm me, it's my fucking problem. You know, you've got your voice. People got their vices and just live your life.
Mm-hmm.
Don't harm others. Don't harm yourself. Dabbing, I am convinced, is not good for you at all.
Okay.
I'll argue that, you know, if you have like live resin rosin. I say that very specifically. Live resin rosin. Even if it's not live resin rosin, I still think that's healthier for you. But I think the more closer you get to like water types of hash, you're still getting a level of carcinogens because ultimately that plant matter, once you burn it, it's going to turn into carbon. Carbon's a carcinogen. When you start burning it, it becomes harmful. It could cause bronchitis if your immune system's weak. It could cause COPD if long term, and it'll inflame your bronchial tube. That's ultimately what it does. And so this is one of the reasons why I have a tough time breathing after I do dabs, because I was not really educated on that for a while. But I have to be really particular with what I smoke. Otherwise, if I don't, here's how I judge a good dab. If I don't cough, and if I don't have to use an inhaler, and it doesn't taste bad, I think that's a good sign that it's not really fucking up my lungs.
Well, I think the cough, you know, now we cough smoking. You know, it's a strong thing that has a tendency to expand, and that's a big deal. I mean, that's what it is the expansion. Once it gets into your lungs, it expands, and then you release it. Honestly, I know for a fact that you're not supposed to hold anything in for any amount of time. You should be smoking marijuana the way you smoke a cigarette. The moment you inhale it, it's doing its job. So holding it in a little bit longer, like, oh, you got to hold it in 10 seconds at least, that's bullshit. You know, the only extra high you're getting from that is the head rush from holding your breath for 10 seconds. You know,
I don't play baseball when I dab, but I tend to.
Well, that was in left field, but I
get it.
I hope so.
That joke hit me left field. That joke came out of left field. I was like, whoa. Oh man, I forgot what I was going to say. This is what's getting high does to you.
Yeah, it does.
Short-term memory gone.
You're talking about baseball.
Oh yeah, I don't play baseball when I smoke or when I dab, but like I do take a full breath in where I don't just like, and then I don't just put it in my mouth, Kristen.
No, I'm not.
Gotta deep throat that shit.
Well, no, you don't just put when you're smoking a cigarette. You
Cigarettes, I always take a short breath. It's just like a.
So, well, just what I'm saying is, there's no need to hold it in for that period of time. And dabs, you should definitely not be holding in your lungs for any period of time. Take it in, send it out right away. That's why you see those people that hover over the dab rig and they pull the smoke in and then they blow it out right away, and pull it in and blow it out right away. Instead of sitting back and holding it, and it's a different way of smoking. But I think I think the thought process is with that is that the smoke has a tendency, or the vapor has a tendency, because it's a vapor, to re-solidify once in the lungs if held in too long. And so you get that gummy tackiness on the inside that takes a while for your body to process through.
It's always good to smoke out of a water pipe too.
Oh, absolutely.
Water bong.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
a huge hash guy. That's my favorite. What? Oh, the water part of it.
See it's cracked in there, just hanging loose. It's doing this right now.
It's doing the hang loose. It still works though.
Well, you can still smoke it.
But yeah, no, hash has always been one of my favorites in the cannabis realm. Aside from flower, I'm a huge flower fanatic, but I love some good old bubble hash. Oh my god.
How you feeling so far about the podcast? Do you want to keep going?
I'm great with it. Yeah.
We're about an hour in.
Sure. Yeah.
Hour and 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of dicking around. The one thing I wish I did do.
Was there anything you wanted to this is your first one back and your first real one kicking with both spurs.
Everything that everything that I wanted to do with this podcast, we have been doing.
Really?
So I'm feeling pretty good about it, just in general.
Dream show.
This one feels just as good as the first show that I did. I can say that with confidence. The first one, I remember the feeling. I wonder if I'll probably feel. I hope I feel this way coming out of it. The first episode I did with Scotty and Ryan, we all came out of that with feeling tingly inside. We were like, that was special. We all felt pretty accomplished, even though we weren't getting views or anything. We were just like, man, that was really good.
It didn't matter. You're doing the thing.
Yeah.
You were getting the show done.
We came out of that one feeling really good about it. I'm feeling just kind of the same way about that right now, and we haven't even ended yet. I could probably do another 30 minutes. You got anything going on in life right now? What's going on locally?
Okay, so locally, obviously, we've got not obviously, we've got the Veterans Free and Safe Access Program, which is something I started a long time ago, but it was literally, pocket to hand when I started. It was like, oh, you're a veteran? Here, I've got these pre-rolls. Here, have some.
How can anyone listening get in communication or find information?
It's right there. I think you can see it on the screen. It's at Reefer Rangers. That is the golden ticket to everything about what I do. So it's your key to, find me on YouTube. It's your key to find me on Instagram. You could use it as the key to find me on Facebook, although I don't go on Facebook anymore because it's useless to me. So Instagram is my go-to. I'm always on it. And obviously, YouTube, you can see the programming, which is Ranger One's Rock Sesh. Every once in a while, I throw other oddities up there, like the Sock Puppet Theater, which is actually growing into Punk Sock Puppet Theater. And I'm going to start making puppets of different, bands and letting them do a song. All I need
That's
to
so
do.
Cool. That's why
all you need is I'm telling you, anybody wants to do this out there, bands included, all you need is a decent size screen to have your visuals on. Find one of those meditation videos. That's what I always use. Well, that too, but I'm saying if you find one of those meditation videos with the ocean in the background or space or whatever, that gives you an awesome digital background without green screen. And you've got access to thousands of different things. You could do a city backdrop if you wanted to, just still footage. But make a sock puppet, fucking do it. It's simple, it's easy, and it's rewarding.
I'm still thinking about those figurines. I'm getting one of Kelly.
Oh, Stonies? Absolutely.
Identical to the one that's the image of him pointing. You know which one I'm talking about?
Which one?
It's the image of him, the cartoon version of Kelly, where he's standing.
Oh, where he's standing, and he's pointing.
His boots are nice and bulbous, and
with
his camo shorts.
The doink sticking out of his mouth.
Got the doink, and he's just pointing.
Yeah.
I want to get a figurine of that.
Yeah. Well, honestly,
But it's got to be like
he
this
definitely.
tall. Just kidding.
Doc, I'd tell him he'd be down with that shit because he's.
Dude, this would be so easy.
That's a band that's just meant for product merchandising. They're just meant for it. I mean, they've got the zombie raccoon. They've got the Chupacabra character. They've got the band that basically is like the Scooby Doo kids on the road. It's all that, and that's why the cartoon characters of them came out so quickly and easily was because it's like, oh, this is meant to be that. It's not like, oh, how do I make that the thought process was already there.
So like imagine some of the characters out of the community as a figurine. Can you name 3 off the top of your head that you would be like, hands down, I need that one, and that one?
Let me go even deeper. Classic vendors. So like that would be a collection onto itself, like Vision.
Which one? Which Vision?
Vision Farms.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The Flying Dutchman.
Okay.
Us.
I don't like the idea of that version of myself.
You don't want to.
I'm afraid of what I look like.
You don't want to sack 420 boss Stoney?
I got self-image issues, so I'm just like, I don't look in the mirror much, so I don't know what the fuck I'd look like.
Yeah, but no, they're Brain Punch. Fuck Zach. Oh my god, dude, Zach. I'd want 10 of those just so I knew that I had a lifetime of them. I love Zach. I love Zach from Brain Punch. He doesn't come and visit very much anymore. He ran back up to the hills and never came back. But he's a fucking hero.
Yes, sir. I agree with
Brain
that.
Punch, man. God. What? Let me tell you something. That's something nobody will ever see. We saw it happen. Nobody will ever see it because it's not happening anymore. They have a small thing that they do now with some relatives that are helping them out. But the Brain Punch booth was almost like a pop-up New York deli. But instead of sandwiches, there was wheat and dabs and shit. And T-shirts that were awesome. That were like collector's items. I mean, they made the I only smoke 3 things Brain Punch T-shirts and those things. If you get your hands on one, and I have one. I do too. Cheers. It is the required tunic for going out to Stony events for me.
3 things.
Yeah, the 3 things.
Which is interchangeable.
Well, the original shirt was Doinks,
Dabs, Diamonds, and Blunts.
No, it was Doinks, Diamonds, and Dabs. The first one with the green printing on the front and the actual Brain Punch logo on the back. That's a sick shirt.
I have the black and green.
Then it went on to several different things. One of my favorites was I only smoke 3 things: blunts, dabs, and pigs. That's what it was.
I don't know what pigs.
Blunts, dabs, and pigs, and it was a pig with a police hat on. But I only smoke 3 things. I thought that was kind of fun.
So I'm
kind of gangsta, a little gangsta.
I'm gonna start getting deep here in a second.
Deep.
So I know I asked this.
Oh, that's interesting considering we were coming to the close.
Are we?
No.
We can.
I'm down. No. Well, go deep though.
I was going to ask. I know at the beginning of the podcast I asked you what's Reefer Rangers all about, but how did Reefer Rangers come about?
Oh yeah, that is deep. I can give you the. I was a fucking hopeless opiate addict. I was med tech. I worked at UC Davis Med Center for a long time, and then I went and started doing in-home care for elderly and disabled people, and really fucked my body up, and had a doctor or multiple doctors that just freeform shoveled opiates into, just here you go. And so when you can do that, and then you start going, I had drug addict past anyway from my youth. You start snorting your pills, and you're living a different life, man. You really are, and you don't even realize it. So when I did realize it, unfortunately, 17 years, I was gonna be turning 50, and I'm like, I'm gonna turn 50 here. I need to not be doing this anymore. And so I quit cold turkey. No programs, straight in my house, Sid Vicious style, throwing up in the toilet for 2 months, and got cleaned up. And like I said at the time, Cody, my best friend since high school, we've known each other almost 40 years now. He had been checking out these shows that were happening, freeform shows. Again, freeform media
Freeform.
shows, freeform everything, because that's the way we live. But anyway, cannabis shows that were happening here, there, and wherever, and talking to people. And he, of course, was growing his amazing sour diesel. That's the same sour diesel that we won 2018. Was it Sierra Cup for best sativa and best bud structure, which was a big one.
Are you familiar with Sierra Farms?
Hmm.
They competed a lot in the Sierra Cup.
We only did once, yeah, just the one time in the beginning.
They had some flower at the sesh. They had a booth set up, and they don't come around that often. But yeah. God, I shouldn't be talking about that.
It's all good. But so yeah, I mean, obviously I got well though. I mean, because my mind was set that I was going to do this, and at the same time I drew the cowboy, which is the Reefer Rangers logo, and was just really digging it. It made me feel good. I think it was because I was starting to feel better. It came from that creative side of me coming out of opiate addiction and feeling better, and he was just a happy thing to look at, especially with the weed leaf sticking out of his mouth. And Cody came over with news and to deliver some gummies, and which I'd been taking profusely, and said, "You know what? We're going to do one of these shows. I want you ready. I want you've been feeling better. You said you're ready." He's like, "Next week we're going to do one of these." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, the cowboy's going to be the logo. We're talking about we should be the Reefer Rangers anyway. So let's just slap this all together. I'm like, I've got it. We'll have it done. I'll make the logo. Printed out a shitload of those at Kinko's, and started doing shows. And was lucky enough to be in the presence of such greats as Brain Punch at the time, watching them full steam ahead, and really got just sold on the whole idea of that being a lifestyle. And I was already disabled. My doctor had pulled me from work. My body was so destroyed anyway. I have severe rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, neuropathy, you name it.
You don't carry yourself like you do, man.
It
You
took a
seem
lot
like
of
really
work.
healthy.
It took a lot of work because I used to walk with a cane. That's a lot of people that I know now, people I hang out with now, did not know that I was slightly hunched over and I walked with a cane. Because I was a battered drug addict was what I was. I do have severe body trauma. But when you're on that many opiates, you just get that, whatever. It's no way to live. And so, yeah, I carried myself completely different. So when I got clean, it was about, okay, my body really hurts. I'm going to push the fuck out of it. I'm just going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to flop out that 10 by 10 tent and pull that open and flip up the 6-foot table myself and, all that shit, and yeah, you hurt at the end of the day, but your body starts carrying itself differently because it's stronger, it's more resilient. And so that's my thought process to people. Oh, I'm at home most of the time because of my body, trauma. It's like, no, get out and move, feel better, for God's sake. Stop staying at home. But anyway, long story short, moving on from there, as we did shows, we got like a couple months in and we got popular. We had all classic old strains. We didn't have any of that newfangled banana, strawberry, whatever. We had classic old strains that you could date back to like the mid-'80s, and shit.
I need to get some clones here soon.
And we were doing that. People just loved the fact we had Tahoe OG, we had Sour Diesel, we had Afghan Goo, we had just classics. And not to mention they liked the cowboy logo, and we were going to have T-shirts, which we ended up doing. And then I started meeting veterans. They started shopping, I think because Cody and I were a little bit older than the rest of the crowd that was out there. And so a lot of the older school veterans started coming up and getting their meds from us. That, and it was also because, again, we had a classic grouping of strains available. And I realized that for a veteran, it's hard financially for them to be able to, afford cannabis and stuff. And so I started sliding it to vets on the side and stuff like that, and that was really weighing on our bottom line. And so it's like, no, I got to figure something else out. And so I got a sponsor. I went up to Grown by Vet Farms. I talked to Jed up there, which I can say because that's all on the up and up. He's a legit farm who just happened to have a 10 percentile on the back end that he was doing nothing with. He wasn't into running hash and sauces. He's strictly flour and straight out to, you know, the larger entities. And he said, you know, I'm a veteran. I've been thinking this. He's like, but I would never do the legwork on that. So if you want to come up and pick this stuff up and get it to people and let them do with what, then let's do that. And it started as that, and it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. And people said, hey, I want to donate. I want to. So I had multiple donators. I had multiple people.
I relate quite a bit with what you're saying because when I got started, just through different mediums, I had the same access to medication.
Mm-hmm.
Although the person that I still fuck with the same people.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention names, but I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
I only brought up Jed because, you know, that's the one that's like on the up and up. That's the one that's legitimate. That, you know, he's got the ability to do that legally, and yeah. And it was an amazing thing because that really kicked the whole thing into fucking gear.
One of the people that I get my Rick Simpson oil from, you know, they travel themselves from patient to patient, and they give it away for free to people who are terminally ill, and that's what the fuck I'm talking about, you know. That's the kind of community love that I want to spread. I mean, I know this podcast is mostly local people, but that's the kind of community love I want to spread with some of the people that I do talk to out of state, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's good for people to be able to see, you know, from both sides of the fence what the other side of the fence looks like, you know. But that being said, you know, it rolled into, we kind of got tired of vending and doing that whole thing. And so we ran delivery business for probably about a half a year, about 6 months, and did really good at that. That was fun. I just drove everything around and delivered to people and stuff. And wore my Reefer Ranger shirt, and it was fun. But then that kind of got weighing too, and it was like, you know, just kind of don't, you know. And Cody was looking to do other things. He wanted to get into his hypnotist stuff. He was going to study hypnotism.
It's interesting to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and he went down full, and he like came out with all sorts of certificates, man. He did it full to balls to the wall, man. I was so proud of him. And now he's certified to do like smoking cessation, helping people with food disorders. You know, social anxiety stuff, all that. I mean, and that's, you know, that's a big deal. You know, that's a big deal if you can help people, you know, the ones that, you know, because hypnotism will only help certain people. There are only certain people that have that mind slip for it, you know.
There's a name for that phenomenon, but it basically measures somebody's mind and how susceptible they are to suggestion. And so, you know, if Cody tried it on me, it probably wouldn't work. I was interested in hypnotism for a while, and I went and saw a hypnotist, and they had me fill out a survey, and they straight told me, you don't have to pay for your session. I can't see you. This is not going to work on you. I don't want to waste your time.
Exactly. You're not one of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah.
And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
I kind of came out of that feeling a little skeptical, but over time, you know, I kind of appreciated some aspects of hypnotism that, you know, at least during the education process, people who learn about hypnotism also learn, you know, might pick up a thing or two about crowd control and working with people.
Yeah.
So I have another buddy who got interested generally in hypnotism and magic and entertainment. And so he was using all of these things, being a very socially timid individual, to help build his confidence and help him with his people skills. Yeah. So like, there's a lot of merit. There's a lot of merit to hypnotism. I'm super happy that Cody's going down
he's a perfect person for it because he's that kind. And I like his spirituality, how he's like allowing his spirituality to come out. You know, his. And I'm not talking about Christianity and any of that stuff. I'm talking about his universal spirituality, his, you know, his free form self. That I'm being forced to say this word, by the way. It's right in front of me, and every time it's free form is right in front of me. So it's just I keep going to free form. But yeah,
see, that's the power of suggestion right there.
Cody went that route, and he was, you know, obviously still Reefer Ranger, but you know, he was doing his own thing, and so I was like, fuck, I had been seeing like a lot of local music happening, and I really got into that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start Reefer Ranger's Full Spectrum Entertainment, and I'm gonna start doing music shows, and started renting locations or locking locations in, putting bands on stage. And
Do you need some water?
no, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I've got my bottle right here.
I got some cold one. I got a cold one.
No, I don't drink
I'm gonna
cold
put that-
water.
I
It's
got
bad
some-
for you. You know that drinking cold water is bad for you. I drink room temperature water, sir.
Why is it bad for you?
Hard for your stomach to deal with when it gets down in there.
Maybe that's why I like it, because it always makes me like either have to pee or something. I've been drinking room temperature water out of this thing.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like cold yet. But yeah, usually if I start drinking really cold water, especially after a meal, it helps get my system going.
Oh, I got you.
That's the
Gotcha. Get that conveyor belt going.
that's the motion for it.
It is. That's the flow. Flow in the flush.
It's funny. It's funny. There's motions.
Flow to the flush.
There's motions for things like this one. Like you know what this means, right?
Yeah. Are we gonna tell them? Tell them. So what is the, what's the story behind this? Is this like from your '90s raver days? Nobody can see it. It's one of the. It looks like a dinosaur hat, sort of. It's got spikies all over it.
My grandmother, who is my stepmother's mother, sent that to me for Christmas because it reminded them of my crazy head of hair that I used to have.
Oh, okay.
But my head is enormous and my head doesn't fit, so it hangs there on the wall.
Yeah.
And other people like to marvel at it, which is also pretty nice. I've seen. See, you're bald, so it like works for you, man. Can I get a picture of you?
Oh, absolutely. Dude. I'd be upset if you didn't.
I like that.
See, you can do
He went straight into the character, just is crouched and like, gotta stretch his legs out, flex his arms and shit. It's great.
When you're at the rave, I'm an extreme raver. I've got a hat that it's got spikes on it. Can't you see?
Let me get a muscle man pose. That's muscly. Let me see some oops. Can you make an oops face? How about an oh my fuck? All right, there we go. When I was younger, I used to want to be a photographer,
Feel
but
free to use
it was
those
totally for the wrong
in
reasons.
any way, shape, or form you wish. Slap them everywhere. I have no pride.
When I was younger, I used to have a couple friends that were models, and I'd take them to their shoots.
Yeah.
And you know, they're pretty attractive ladies. They're also good friends of mine. And
You're such a baller, dude.
I mean, like, I got to keep it respectful, but I can't lie. They're ladies I grew up with, and I was like, God damn, I'm lucky I get to be around you. I'm lucky I'm friends with
models
you.
around, man. That's fucking yeah.
Well, maybe my confidence back then was a little higher than it should have been.
Boom, so
I got my ass whipped one time, but I'll get into that some other time. Anywho,
that's another show.
I wanted to get into photography when I was younger until I realized how much of a learning curve it is and how expensive it is for all the equipment. Like our boy Mario, he's invested a few grand into his computer, his software,
and he's got great
his
stuff,
camera, and his attachments, his cards, and his batteries. Like, fuck. He's probably forked over a few grand for all
And look
that.
at the footage. I mean, he's cranking out really, really top-notch shit. It's very beautiful and very cinematic almost. I mean, you know, where mine is very, you know, choppy and glitchy and stuff like that because it's supposed to be. His is very much like they came in with that type of equipment and did lock shots and stuff like that. And he always does a time lapse of the up above, looking down at the crowd growing and then dissipating again, and that's incredible shit, man. That's great. Mario's a great guy though, man. He's always been, you know, one of those nifty creatives out there. And I remember early on, just his pictures, his close-up pictures of people's nugs and stuff like that were really impressive.
Betty and Mario's
Him and remember
whole
Red
thing?
Eye Rabbit? Red Eye Rabbit's photography. He took
Red Eye
pictures.
Rabbit. I don't
Yeah, he
remember
came out, had a little black cloth, and he dropped it on our table out at a sesh and pulled out one of our cherry pie nuggets and shot it. Oh, God, that picture. Actually, that picture, if I'm not mistaken, is, do you remember the Three Things t-shirts that had the bud on the front? It was just a giant bud. That was our cherry pie bud.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's an interesting thing. Cannabis photography.
He's
Sprouted out of that. It's amazing.
Mario's the only person that I could think of who does this.
Trichomes.
Like seriously, If there's anybody listening that needs professional photography done,
Yes.
please consider our boy Mario at Cannabis Photography.
For sure.
Frick.
Well, get it up there, dude. Pop it up there. You got time. Yeah, no, he's really good, and
Here, I'll do it like
I'm
this.
sure he can always use the extra work. He's a go-getter. But yeah, quality, definitely hands down, it's there, and he's got the flair. He's got an artistic flair, and I think that's important because there's a lot of businesses or groups out there that come in and shoot your shit for you, but to have a creative flair that actually, stylized.
Canna.fiends.photography.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
See, I
spell
always
that out
mess
for you.
those up too. Yep.
So I forgot my login info. I can't log into Instagram and show it on screen. So here's what I'm going to do.
Just say it. Say it out loud.
I'm going to type it on a text document so you can get that visual. I am legitimately autistic. And I know that's a weird segue.
That's another show altogether, bro.
I'm on the spectrum. It's auditory
I
processing.
think we all are, though. I really do.
When I see the visual, if I hear something, I don't retain information as well as if I see it.
Mhm.
So that's why I practice these things. It's mostly for me. I'm selfish. Canafines. Let's get it up there. Wham, bam. Text document, Instagram.
There we go. Yeah.
Y'all see that? Y'all see that? At.
There we go. Yes!
Feeds.
That's so old school.
Whoops. I think that's right.
In real time, people. It's in real time. Mistakes and all. That's it, though. Yeah, that's the one.
I before E, that's correct.
Yeah. Go there.
Let's see. How do I
We're trying, Mario. We're trying. Don't change the font.
This is old. No, I'm changing the font. Fuck that. Mario, you get a badass font. Hold on. I got you.
Make sure they can read it. Fonts will kill you in the end. Oh, yeah, there you go. It's very readable. Doc Matrix. Hippie.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, dude. It's nice. You get that tattooed on me?
The things we do for our friends, man. This guy right here does professional shots of nugs. He does.
Oh, he does everything though.
He does.
But he will get an amazing
micro
shot of
and
your
macro
nugs,
lenses. He's the type of guy. If you were to talk, if you need
Your
anything
nugs,
specific, if you need anything specific, he's the guy to talk to.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, definitely. I would even venture to say, I bet you video projects, just hands down as a cameraman, would be able to toe the line for sure. But photography, if you need some really artsy, cool, if you're having a cannabis wedding, he would be the fucking dude, the only dude to call.
For sure.
Yeah. But I just want to make sure people know it doesn't have to be cannabis based. I mean, he's got the chops no matter what. So whatever he went to do for you, it would be top notch.
I dare say I idolize Mario in a way because of his hustle with media.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like one of those people. I want him and Canafines Photography to partner up with Freeform Media. Like, there's no way. There's no reason why we shouldn't be working together. Fucking love that fool.
He's one of those highly accessible human beings. He makes himself.
He lives really far away now.
Yeah,
though.
he does.
But he'll be around.
I think he's trying to relocate, if I'm not mistaken, though. Last time I talked to him, which was just Sunday.
I know a couple.
I see him every Sunday, just about. It wasn't this Sunday. It was last Sunday, I think.
I know a couple people looking for places right now, which is kind of a good thing. People getting ready to get a place.
Mm-hmm.
But
weather's changing, man.
I'm gonna be.
People like moving in spring. You don't like to move during the wintertime.
I did. I didn't give a fuck.
Well,
I moved in the rain, but I didn't have shit to
But
move.
then you were moving into this beautiful place, which they can't see out there. But yeah, this is an incredible location. So I mean, that would be exciting. No matter if it was pouring down rain or what, it'd be just like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna be in there tonight. I will be living there. I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm going to run to the old.
Go ahead,
John.
I'll be right here, and I'm gonna speak by myself for a moment. So, hi. That's how I feel right now. Pretty high. I'm really trying to... Oh, there we go. save. You know, in the meantime, I could do a dab. So I really want to thank people. Those of you who commit to listening to the whole podcast, please remember the most important thing. And I hate to be cliched and sound like one of those fucks that you see every day on Facebook and Instagram. But please, if you support this group, Freeform Media, please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Please give us a tick on Instagram. I'm really accessible. You can send us a DM. I'll most likely respond within a day or two. And I do keep busy, so be patient with me. I'm going to have a lot of big things coming up here. I'm really doing this podcast for fun. It's something that I have been planning on doing for quite some time, and I've been podcasting since I was a teenager. When I was a kid, I used to do these podcasts just for fun. We would do music reviews, and I think there's a lot more substance nowadays. So I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. If you really do, remember to press all those buttons, hit the bell. Yes.
You can ring my bell, ring my bell.
You scared me. I don't know if you saw me jump.
Disco
My hair's still
terrorist. Oh my God, it's a disco terrorist. I knew one would gain entry sooner or later.
That was a good intermission. It just flew together like it melted right on the warm bread.
Pause,
Like,
I mean, I'm sure you were rambling on about something at least. You didn't leave me hanging.
I'm just making sure everyone rings that motherfucking
you
bell.
My bell really quick and really woke the place back up.
Well, I could keep dabbing.
Hit it. Let's do it.
It's a superpower. My eyes will get heavy, but like I'm not tired. It's just like I get squinty-eyed,
It's called being stoned.
Yeah, that too.
I do want to reiterate, though, that as a vlogger, I hate that word. As an entertainment producer, and
how about as an artist?
As
You're an artist.
Sure, as an artist. Okay, as an artist, we're doing these things. So I'm going to just reiterate. Have your friends. People that you hang out with on the regular. You share things anyway. You share memes. You share this information. Because, the more people we have subscribed, it allows us to push forward. It allows us, shows us that, because we're going to keep doing this anyway, but it, shows us that somebody's, that there's people out there listening and those people are growing. And, to hit subscribe and click that bell and share it, with a couple of friends, a couple of seconds at a time, and it'll never creep up to harm you ever again. It's not like, you're going to get an alert every once in a while that we've got a new show, and so just trying to say, without being too pushy, that, that there's a lot of us out here, and we're working really hard with this new thing that we've started doing because of COVID. I think it was my whole thing, because I was out in public. It was my fucking gig, was being out in public with the people, doing the shows, pushing the shows, talking about shows, creating shows, and then all of a sudden we couldn't do that anymore. So how do you continue to do that and not just disintegrate? Going in for the dab.
Ooh. I'm sitting on the floor doing some stretches.
Heard that pop.
It's a good one too. I don't want to move now. Life is interesting, man. I can't believe I'm here today in a house I have to myself with you, a friend of the sesh, and a friend of many of my friends, and a friend of me, of course.
Just a friend on our journeys, man.
Life is so strange and beautiful, and terrifying.
Yeah, a little bit terrifying.
Oh, dude, it's scary. Sometimes, not every day.
Honestly, I think
I'm afraid of heights. Okay, I
you
don't
up that high all
I
the
don't want to
time,
be the guy that's last on the fucking airplane about to jump out.
Yeah.
If I'm first, I'll probably be like, all right, fuck yeah.
Sure.
If I'm the last person to jump out of an airplane, I'm probably gonna cry. I'm afraid of heights like that.
Well, that being said, Mark Pooley, Caffeine Mark in Australia, who did our documentary with us a couple years back, yeah, he flew over from Australia and shot with us for 12 days. And one of his newest things, when he turned 40, was that he was going to skydive. And that went from skydiving once to say that he did it to a full-blown addiction where he's like literally jumped out of a plane 45 times. He's considered, I believe, a master skydiver now. Yeah.
Since we last saw him?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, there's some great footage. Go to his Facebook.
He's like, I'm going to get those 100 in, but I'm going to do like 5 a day. Just kidding. I don't know what it is.
I can't
or
remember
what the laws
either.
are out there, but
yeah, he's definitely up there. It went from him being strapped to somebody that jumped out of an airplane and while he was screaming, to to him just doing it, man, being in the line and here we go. I would do it. I would skydive.
I think I might need to lose some weight before I'm comfortable. Because if I have to be strapped in with somebody else, I'm going to feel bad for them having to carry my fat ass.
Well, they don't carry you really. Once you're falling, there's no weight issue, and standing in the plane, they're standing. It's not like they've got you in one of those baby things where you're all like,
what else?
Your legs are all up in the air.
That is what I imagine.
That's what I'm envisioning now, and it's frightening. A paratrooper with a tailor strapped to his fucking chest, front
If
forward.
I'm strapped in, I'm facing
arms
the guy.
and legs,
I got my legs
full of
pointed behind
Cheerios. Ready to jump?
You know what I'm really afraid of?
Okay, boss.
I'm a pretty big guy. If something happens, there's no way the guy on the parachute's not going to drop me to save his own ass.
Just cut your belt.
Yeah.
Send you careening.
Yeah, like, well, it's either me or him. It's going to be fucking me. It's like, who the fuck am I? Just some fat ass on... Like,
No, listen, sir, my weight limit just reduced greatly, so we're cutting you free.
I'm terrified of heights. Not on an airplane, but like if I'm on a tall, thin bridge, or if I'm standing close to an edge to something.
See, I love that stuff.
I don't get staircase vertigo. It's not that bad. But I do get vertigo when I'm really high ups.
Yeah.
I was on a skyscraper. This girl took me atop of a skyscraper. Her sister worked. I'm not going to say where. She took me on one of the buildings here in Sacramento, and there's a helicopter pad and everything, and we kind of dangle our feet off of that.
Yeah.
And, there was a pretty good sense of vertigo.
I know exactly what building you're talking about. Yep. We used to house
It's a bank one, I'll
106
say that.
studios.
It was a bank building. That's all I'm going to say. Anywho, there was another spot I went to up in Folsom, and this is you're not really supposed to do this, so please don't go do this, guys. Don't go fucking do what I'm about to say.
Disclaimer: don't try this at home.
There's a spot. I don't want to be specific. On the river, that could be anywhere in the world. There's a spot on the river where I'm from, where you could
where there's 2 rivers, to be exact.
Actually, no, actually, there's
2 rivers here. We're the city of 2 rivers.
Okay, fine.
Right. In the river city, the city of trees and rivers.
The only reason I have a problem with that because everywhere I go, there's a river city or the Tri-City area.
True. Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean the Tri-City area?
Tri-City. Well, they've got 3 cities in the area that are linked.
Thanks for assuming I'm a local, you fucking yokel. No, I'm kidding.
What borough are you from?
Exactly. I went out to my brother's city, and he called it the He's like, oh, well, we're the Tri-City area. And I'm like, bro, you've lived there for a year, 2 years, 3, 4 years.
And not to mention, when you're in your area, you would have to stand in the middle. Because when you're in your area, you're just a part of the Tri-City area. You're not the Tri-City area. You're in the Tri-City area.
Now there's 3 fucking cities I gotta, triangulate where the fuck you are.
Exactly. Let's not even talk about the subway nightmare.
This is me being salty with my little brother for saying Tri-City.
Tri-City.
Big shout out to my little brother, Navy veteran.
Big shout out to all you
Smart
Tri-Cities out
motherfucker.
there.
Works doing some very nuclear things. I'm not really sure what he does to be exact, but He is an influence of mine, actually. He's hilarious. He's really good at letting me joke around and making a fool out of myself, but I never feel bad about it in the end.
How is he now, in a social standpoint? How are you and him?
Weed?
No, just in a social standpoint.
I feel like
You're all weed? And I'm like, no, I said social, baby. Yeah, I mean, weed is social. There's more to it than that, though. You're all weed.
Sorry, Brandon.
Dabs.
Anywho, honestly, like I haven't spent a whole lot of time with.
I had to do it back. It's such a weird thing to get hit with. Yes, I love it. Yeah, continue.
I'm gonna laugh myself into a heart attack. So, fuck, what was your question? My brother.
No, I had no question. You were talking about your brother. Oh no, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. You're socially. How are you guys similar and or different or both?
Well, we definitely have.
Well, I sounded like a history
similar
teacher
influences.
there for a second.
We obviously we grew up together.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot in common right there. We shared instruments, like we shared a bedroom. We listened to the same music.
Okay.
We hung out together a lot. We were friends, and we were stepbrothers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we did a lot of shit together. We used to sneak out of the house and go to the underdeveloped area of the neighborhood and go and pick up some of the signs the construction workers would use and burn them for
Good
firewood
stuff.
in their pits of gravel. We would make a little volcano in their pits of gravel in the middle of the night and just fucking bury the wood when we're done in the gravel. So it's like, where'd all the signs go? They won't know until they unbury the gravel. But yeah, my dad caught us once, and
you guys around the same age or different age?
yeah, he's a year younger than me.
Okay.
But maturity wise, he's like fucking 10 years older than me.
Okay.
He's definitely, I think, more of an adult than anyone else in my entire family.
Oh, okay.
Other than maybe my dad, who's also kind of a brat. I love you, Dad. Love you, man. But you're a brat.
Yep.
And so am I. So that makes it okay for me to call you a brat.
We're healing here. We're healing.
I love you guys. It's all love in the end.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't stop bugging my dad every day now. Like, I call that fool sometimes two, 3 times a day, fully knowing, like, fuck, I want to call him, but I've already called him twice today. Fuck it, I'm going to call him again. Just tell him, hey, I just want to say I love you. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sometimes that's all it takes, man. I mean, just connecting. I mean, that's basically what we do on social media with people we care deeply about, and we shoot them just a little, hey, just checking in, whatever, blah blah blah. It's simple, short, but you're doing it. It's not like you're, being communicative.
Communicative. You sound like a Japanese guy. Communicative. Oh, eat a dikimasu.
Wow. You're going to ding now for off-colored comments. I don't know. Shit's been off the rail for a while. My brother's coming into town from, I don't know. He used to live in Florida, and he moved to somewhere near Florida, but not Florida. But yeah, he's 10 years younger than me. And yeah, he's not used to any of what we do here. I can't wait to introduce you. He's an oddball.
Does he do weed?
Weed? Yes, weed. Yes. At that time and point, perfect question. Weed, yes. Just on a lower level, for them, they have to drive literally, I kid you not, 80 miles to find weed. Yeah, 80 miles, man, and it just shows you the difference in, and then, so he video calls me the other night, Sunday night, right? I'm sitting at the Ranger table, Veterans Free and Safe Access, and he calls me, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to even be able to hear him. So I flipped it on, and he's like, well, hey, brother, what are you doing? And I'm like, here, let me show you, and I flipped it around, and he's like, holy shit. And he's like, is that the place you're going to take us? And I'm like, that's exactly where I'm going to take you. So, yeah, for him, this is godlike behavior to my brother Dusty.
I have to not give in sometimes to that type of energy. It's empowering when you have someone out of state and they just have that wonder in their eyes. This whole new community, like something like this couldn't be possible. And now they're here.
Honestly, the best.
And so I have to I got to mellow out when I'm around people sometimes because I get excited for them, and then I really do my best. I do good at not going into hustler mode where I'm advantageous, but there's people out there that are so ignorant of how things work here that I have to explain shit to them. Like, hey, you gotta...
That's our job, dude. Don't ever feel weird about that. That's literally our job is to. I always felt any newcomer that ever came out to one of the shows, once they came your way and they were in your space, give them the fucking layout, of what's going on and the thought process and where the best places to go are. And I think that's our duty. It really is.
Man, I really want to execute that figurine idea. After you leave today, I'm probably gonna hop online and
pull the trigger on that.
Find someone local who can do the 3D printing, like the graphic side of things.
Did you know? Let me just. I don't. Okay, see, I'm not sure. We're heading in the right direction. The local library here in our city with Two Rivers.
They have a 3D printer, right?
Yeah, and you can use it for up to a certain size point. So those would be well within.
I'm talking production. Well,
yeah, but production, you got to start off with prototype. Prototype first, production secondary. Always. Because you got to have something to look at and get before you have 5 million of them,
Yep.
You have to have something that you're looking at. Something that 2 or 3 people okay. If you're basing them on specific people, you got to make sure you get there okay. You don't want to put out a goofy looking action figure and have them hate you for the rest of your life. But no, I think you should really do that because you know what? That's in that 90s pocket, honestly, even though it did come out earlier. That's in that 90s pocket of thought process, and shit like that's really popular, right now is the resurgence of, the old being new again, just as with vinyl and people being into cassette tapes again and stuff like that.
Can you imagine if they came out with a biodegradable plastic that you can 3D print made out of hemp? That's what those figurines need to be made out of. My brain is turning when it shouldn't be right now. I should be focused on this podcast.
I guarantee you.
But my brain's fucking functioning really well right now.
Me, I guarantee you there is a person, I'm sure it can be done, so I'm sure it has been done. So if you do in your search, hemp resin 3D printing, it's going to pop up.
It will.
Oh yeah, because it's the type of thing that
we're California, the best place to be for this sort of shit.
Paper and all sorts of other products. So why wouldn't it be, broken down to be a liquid rosin that you 3D print with?
Oh man, you said rosin. Now I'm taking it to a whole new level.
Resin.
No, it's rosin. No,
it is
rosin.
It's
your idea.
It's all the same.
Now it's set in stone.
It's rosin, hemp rosin.
No. The figurines.
Printed figure. That's what I'm saying. They're made from hemp rosin. It would be. It would not be not true.
I can't even fathom.
Did we on this show just invent one of the coolest fucking things ever to be done? Not yet done, but soon done?
You'd have to really, I don't know, you couldn't form rosin like that.
All I want from this whole thing is just a Reefer Ranger figure. If I could have
of who?
Of me and Cody. It should be me and Cody. It really should be both.
What are you guys doing?
No, it would just be us standing there with the goofy look on our face and Reefer Ranger shirts on.
What's the look? That's the look. It was the look. It was the look of you thinking about the look.
Yeah.
And then it was the look too, because that was a good look.
So that means that action figure would always have the look on its face of what it looked like.
I'm trying to imagine in my overly romantic. I have these overly romanticized memories.
My brain's fucked, dude.
you know
I
how
have a dab.
You know how when you remember stuff, you tend to overly romanticize it, right? It's like, oh, the good times were so good. Kind of look at the past through rose-colored glasses. So when I put those rose-colored glasses on and I go through my memories,
sure.
When I try to imagine the look on your face, generally just having a good time. Yeah, I got nothing.
I was waiting for it. I was going to even accompany it with violins in my head.
No, I'm really trying to imagine a look.
A look for what?
Honestly, you're the head taller than everyone, so that's what I imagine is your head just sticking out of a crowd.
Well, it has been helpful in what we do, you know, in having people be able to find us. For the big, tall, bald guy.
That is convenient.
With the Frankenstein boots on.
He likes boots.
No, I love my dogs.
Hour and 50 in, how you feeling?
I'm great, dude. We're chugging along. We have not wanted for content. I mean, we have jumped from thought process to thought process very well. I mean, it's fluid.
About 3 hours is probably where I'm going to be like, all right, it's time to wrap it up.
I don't know that I'll make it 3 hours. I mean, we're at what now?
153.
Yeah.
We could wrap it up in 7 minutes. I kind of feel like we've had a good
Do
podcast
you have to have
today.
it stop at exactly like either 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or are you?
No, I'm
like
just
with
basing.
like a couple minutes over.
I'm just basing that time off of like we could just
Sure.
close it up and it doesn't have to be exact. I'm not trying to go on the dot like it's got to be the zeros have to be aligned. No, it doesn't need to be like that. I don't care if we're over or under. I don't care how long it is. 3 hours is too much.
It is. I said that from the get go, and you know, honestly, a 2-hour show is a hard sell because
And
you're
15
expecting.
minutes is enough.
You're exact. Well, 15 minutes. See, that is buying into bite-sized culture, and I know that we are a bite-sized culture now, fun-sized culture, whatever you want to call it. But you know, where are it's like TikTok videos and little short, quick little zip, zip, zip. You know, let me take you to a time when there was a show called Max Headroom and a thought process of a future where commercial information was being fed to us at such a rapid rate that certain people would explode. So, you know, look that up, Max Headroom Project. It's an amazing movie and then ended up being a show. But yeah, you know, you want to watch, you know, a show should be a show. You know, you sit down, you're gonna, smoke a bowl and you're gonna involve yourself. But that being said, you know, most shows are 30 minutes, sitcoms, 30 minutes or an hour. Sitcoms, dramas, whatever you have, you know, it's either 30 minutes, an hour. You know, only epic movies are 2 hours. You know, or 3 or whatever. Epic movies, you know.
Myself and I'm sure millions of other people listen to podcasts like Joe Rogan or Ari Shaffir.
How long do they run?
Joe Rogan, I'm basing my 3 hour philosophy off of him. 3 hours is anything over 3 hours is like, now you're just trying too hard. You're trying too hard to have a long podcast. Yeah. But if you're sitting down and just having, like today in the context of having a friend over, we could talk for hours and it's okay.
True.
If that's the context of the podcast. If I'm having somebody who's like a local environmentalist coming to talk about something
good point,
ultra specific,
that's where you want to stick to a script.
Yeah, I might have an hour. I would feel more inclined to have an hour and a half cutoff. Yeah. Hour and a half cutoff. But that's so it doesn't linger on a bunch of other bullshit to deter away from the point of something that's really important.
And I will say this, out of kindness for them, because notoriously somebody like that, like if you were going to have a biologist, whatever, environmentalist, and they would come with a locked in, okay, this is the information that I'm using, this is the wording that I'm using, and because they would anticipate the questions that you were going to ask them, right? So they're kind of locked into this thought process. So anything that takes them outside of them having the material for it is going to make it uncomfortable for them.
I'm at the point after I
things like this. There's no. The comfort level is the fact that we're just here doing this, and we can walk back and forth, and our voices are going to get a little quieter or whatever. But it's just whoever's listening out there is in the moment with us, doing this conversation. Talking about some really cool things that have happened and that are going to happen, that continue to happen, and a community that came together and is really there for itself, you know, and now from there is coming all of this different creativity, you know, look at all the different brands and product lines and artists, you know, there's painters that are now setting up shop at these, pop-ups and stuff like that, and that's branching it out to almost to where we're creating our own little mini city for a day.
That's how it feels.
You're creating your own mini city where everything's there. You can get regular food there. You can get medicated food there. You can get your medicine there. And you can also get your communications stuff going on there. You
Get some clothes.
Networking. You can pick up clothing. Yeah, absolutely. So it's like a shopping mall for the cannabis community. And that's a beautiful thing. And that just shows that if the shit hit the fan and we just all came together in one location, we could make it happen. Even if we had to take it on the fucking road as a community that had to be nomadic or whatever, we would be one of those communities.
We kind of are a nomadic community.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We could be that way very easily, even in a really shit show fucking scenario. And that's impressive. That's highly impressive for people that were looked at as, oh, they just sit on the fucking couch with their thumb up their ass smoking a bong. No, it's not that at all.
On the
we
note,
smoke our bong and then we fucking get our cameras in our hands. We get our fucking paintbrushes out. We do shit, man, and we get it going on and then we share it, and that's the big deal.
On that note, I want to mention, there's a lot of people we know who are involved, who are very, very passionate about cannabis, and I want to kind of break a stigma that people have that what people know as the traditional market interferes with, the regulated market, and that's just not true, because there's a lot of traditional market people, including myself, who actually really enjoy the experience of going to a dispensary. Whenever I go to a dispensary, typically I know a person or two that works there, because those people they have to discreetly come to an event that we do. And, vice versa, I'll go to a dispensary if I'm looking for the best quality indoor that I could find. Probably going to go to a dispensary that's reputable for that sort of thing.
Sure.
I don't know why I feel so inclined to break the stigma right at this second, but there it is.
No, I feel you on that. I don't think there should be a stigma. I mean, because we have
these are modern day stigmas that aren't talked about. That's
hands down, we have proven anybody out there in the and I can't speak for everybody, honestly, because, there are people out there where this is their job. And so they're doing this fucking daily grind, and that's the way they make their living, And I'll say this, early on, 2018, when we first started, I noticed things were really good. It was like there was a resurgence of this carnival that would happen, a resurgence of these shows, and this, new influx of new logos and vendors, and it really got bright and shiny. And I think there was a lot of people with the thought process of, I'm doing really good. I think I can quit my day job and just do this. And that happened. And you know what? We were good for about a year. We were really good for about a year, where it was like, oh, this is nice. Fuck. Wow, we're making some money and having some fun. This is great, and we're serving a fucking purpose. Holy shit. And then all of a sudden, saturation and fucking, just
drama.
Drama. Saturation's a big thing, though, of having too many people, too many vendors, and then it becomes a thing of where, and then you've got
ego,
a lot for crop failures and fires. We've had fires that have destroyed, all that shit, changes thought processes, and it became very dog eat dog almost, so that's why I love what I do, because there's nothing but fun and love at our booth, our table. And I can honestly say, for you and yours, SAC 420 Boss has always been the same way. There hasn't been that serious, I'm doing my shit, I've got to do my shit now, and just fucking just either take it or don't, because that's just, you might as well go to a fucking cannabis club. If you want to represent yourself as a better option, a freer option, a happier option, then you have to, I always say, you have to be able to talk about your product. You need to be able to, you shouldn't just say, oh yeah, I picked it up from somebody.
Now, I'm going to start wrapping it up.
Oh, sure.
If there's anything I want to achieve by meeting with you today, by this podcast,
sure,
it's by spreading the knowledge of love and acceptance within the cannabis community.
That's
because I got to admit, it's been
First and foremost,
it's
one of
been-
the most important things that we can talk about.
It's been divided the last couple of years. You know, we have different promoters coming in to start different events, and people start taking sides, and
Sure.
that's not what it's all about. You know, at the end of the day, whether you're competing with other vendors at other events, or whether you're in the traditional market competing with the legal market, you know, we're all neighbors.
Yeah.
And we all need to look out for each other. And there's a lot of this pitting stoner against stoner bullshit. You know, politics get involved, but at the end of the day, patients need their medicine, and that's what cannabis is all about.
For sure. Will add, though, this, and this is very important. When you have your tribe, and your tribe runs well, always realize that you can't... The hippies tried to change the world, and they were met with a fucking brick wall. Then came the punks, and that's where I come from, right? You can't change the fucking world. The whole thing about being punk is knowing that you cannot change the world. What you can do is create a fucking tribe that is solid, that sticks together, and you have your ideals, and you're going to have to brush against society and the ones that you don't agree with and the ones that you find deplorable, you know. But as long as you have that tight group and you work hard to keep it that tight group, which means keeping drama and bullshit out of your fucking tribe, you know, which for the most part we've managed to do, you know. I consider
There's
myself...
definitely a sect of people.
I consider myself a one-show guy nowadays. I used to do them all. Now there's, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there's only one show. And if you know me, you know who that is and what that show is. And that's the only one that I frequent because it has kept, you know, although there has been rocky moments, it has kept its hippy-dippy aspect of family, love, togetherness. This place is a place for us to come together and be together, you know, all at the same time, you know, which is a very hard thing to do when that many people love each other that much, you know. You're not talking about, you know, 10, 20. You're talking about a couple hundred, you know. It's a different story. So, and we've always done it very safely, responsibly, and we've always taken care of each other. So,
You want to do an outro song?
happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you.
I don't know this one. I'm sorry.
And
I
all
would sing it if I
my
did.
dusty friends. That's all I know.
That's okay.
That's a nugget there, though, dude. You can use that for, God.
There's a lot of
Shit,
nuggets
fuck,
in this
man.
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
This is one that I want to go
It's
chop
full
up.
of nuggets. Chock full of nuggets.
There's lots of little just phrases.
It's
My
that
God.
pack you always wanted. Look, it's chock full of nuggets.
Anywho, y'all, we're cutting it for the evening or for the day. What is it now? Afternoon? I don't know.
Late afternoon.
Hope y'all are
let's
having a
tell 'em.
wonderful week. Happy March.
At this
and-
very moment, it's 5:19, so we're into the...
Oh, we
early
missed
evening.
420.
Yeah, we did. Well, I don't think we did. I think we were dabbing probably during that time as well. It's safe.
Let's
With-
do one
with-
more after I stop. Anyhow,
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. If y'all made it this far, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Ding the bell, press some buttons, support us by subscribing, liking, doing the blah-diddy blah, blah, blah.
Taylor, thank you so much for having me on for this. I really appreciate it. I just really dig you. I love you, and it was really awesome to be a part of this.
I needed to do
And
this a lot
I
sooner.
feel real well. We've been talking about it. We've been talking about it, but I feel really good about this. I really do. I think it's quality. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers, bro. Thank you.